Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing on with the math multiple choice questions. We're on number 98, and in number 98, they give us a graph and they tell us that the numbers show the number of schools the graph shows the number of schools per city for 5 small cities. Cities M and N each have 500 students per school, and city P has 400 students per school. City Q and R each have 700 students per school. Which of the 5 cities has the greatest number of students? The trick answer here would be to choose P. Okay, right off the bat, I'm pretty sure P is not the answer, but you can see on the graph P has the tallest bar in it. So a lot of students will choose that right off the bat, but we have to do some computation before we can choose our answer. So city M and city N both have 500 students, so I'm going to write 5 here instead of writing 500, but you could write 500 if you want. But I'm going to write 5 and 5. City P has 400 students, so I'll write 4 there. Q and R each have 700 students, so 7 and 7. And what we have to do is multiply this number, 5, or 500 if you wrote 500 here, by how many schools there are in that city. So there are 8 schools in city M, so 5 times 8, that's going to give us 40. This one we don't even have to multiply because we know that 5 times 8 is going to be greater than 5 times 5, right? I mean, it's 25. You could write it if you want, but you don't even have to if you want to save a little time. Okay, because we're looking for the greatest number, right? That's what the question is asking for. So I'm going to skip city N. City P is 4 times 9, which is going to give us 36. And then Q is 7 times 6. That's going to give us 42. And again, you don't have to multiply R because 7 times 4 is going to be less than 7 times 6. So this one you don't even have to do. So in the choices here, which number is greatest? It's 42, and that's city Q, and G is our answer. Number 99. A box contains 5 strawberry candies, 3 banana candies, and 2 orange candies. If Brandon selects 2 candies at random from this box without replacement, what is the probability that both candies are not banana? So we have 5 strawberry, we have 3 banana, and we have 2 oranges. I'll write OR so that doesn't look like a 0. Okay, and we want 2 candies to be selected at random without replacement, and what is the probability that both are not banana? Okay, so the total number here, if you add the total up, it's gonna be 5 plus 3, that's 8, plus 2, that's 10. We have 10 candies here, and we don't want the first one to be banana, so the first one is gonna be 5 plus 2, which gives us 7 out of the total 10. And we're going to multiply that by the our second selection. Our second selection, we're not going to replace, so if we take one out, we're going to have a total of 9 candies left. And if on the first choice we chose a non-banana candy, right, out of 7, we chose one of them out, then that means we have 6 non-banana candies left, and we're going to just multiply this across. Before we multiply, I always like to deal with smaller numbers. So let's reduce before we multiply it out. And 6 over 9 is the same as 2 over 3. Multiply that, and you get 14 on the numerator and 30 on the denominator. And that reduces down to 7 over 15, which is choice C. Number 100. In the equation above, w, x, y, and z are positive numbers. Which of these is equal to z? So we want to isolate z by itself. Let's cross multiply first. So we're going to get w times z equals xy. And again, we want to try to isolate the z by itself. And so we're going to divide both sides by w. And we're going to get z equals xy over w. And that is going to be choice H. Number 101. On the number line above, points w, x, y, and z are integers, and wx to xy to yz equals 4 to 2 to 3. What is the value of wy? So we are looking for this length right here, from w to y. Let's see here. What is the total distance? The total distance from w to z is going to be 8 minus negative 10. So 8 minus negative 10, that's a double negative. It's the same thing as 8 plus 10. So the total distance here is 18. Okay, so the total distance is 18. And we know the ratios of each segment here. It's 4 to 2 to 3. So let's just write 4x plus 2x plus 3x equals the entire distance. So that's 18. And let's add this up. That's going to give us 6 plus 3, that's 9x equals 18. Divide both sides by 9 and we get x equals 2. And what they're looking for is what is the value of this value, right? The mark, we marked this up earlier, from w to y. So what we can do is, the quickest way is probably going to be just to find this distance, the small distance right here from y to z, and subtract that from the total 18 to get our answer. Okay, so let's get that little segment. That little segment there is going to be 3x. Okay, so 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. So we know that this segment right here is 6, and the total distance here from w to z is 18. So 18 minus 6 gives us 12, and that's our answer, letter C. Number 102. A metal plate used in an electric device must have a thickness of 0.02 inch with an allowable error of 1%. What is the greatest allowable thickness of the metal plate? So let's first figure out what is 1% of 0.02. So this is what we need to do. We need to say 0.02, and we're going to multiply that by 1%. And 1% is the same thing as 0.01. And then after we get this product, we have to add it back to the 0.02 to get our final answer. So when we multiply this out, we're going to get 2, and there are 4 decimal places that where we have to move, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So we're gonna go from here and do 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's gonna give us 0.0002, and we're going to add that to the 0.02, and that's going to give us letter G, 0.0202. Okay, if you wanted to do this in one step instead of two steps, instead of doing multiplication and addition, you could have, instead of multiplying by just by 1%, you could have multiplied by 101%. So in other words, you could have done 0.02 times 1.01, right? That's 101%. And if you did that, you would have gotten the same exact answer. Number 103. Mr. Blake's biology class is divided into 3 sections. The same test was given to each section. The table above shows both the lowest score and the range of scores on this test for each section. What is the overall range of all scores in all 3 sections? All right, that's a lot of alls. So what we're going to do is they give you the lowest score in each section, and they also give you the range. So what we can actually figure out is the highest score for each section. And the way to do that is just add these two numbers. Okay, so 65 plus the 28, that's going to give us 93. 62 plus 25, that is 87. And 67 plus 22 is 89. So we want the overall greatest range, okay? The largest range possible across all 3 sections. So that means we need to find the lowest score in all 3 sections and the highest score from all 3 sections. So if you look at these 3 numbers here, the lowest number is 62. And from these 3 numbers, the highest number is 93. So let's find the range between 62 and 93. In other words, let's subtract these 2 numbers. 93 minus 62 is going to give us an answer of 31. Right? 93, 62, subtract, that's going to give us 31, and that's our largest range, choice D. Number 104. If 3n is a positive even number, how many odd numbers are in the range from 3n up to and including 3n plus 5? So let's list out these numbers actually, because it's a small enough number set. So 3 is the first one, and then we're going to have 3n plus 1, then 3n plus 2, 3n plus 3, 3n plus 4, and 3n plus 5. And they're giving us that the first one is even, right? The first one is even. So the next one has to be odd. And then this is even, and this one's odd, this one's even, and this one's odd. And they're asking how many odd numbers are there. So there's 1, 2, 3, and F is our answer. Number 105. In the infinitely repeating decimal above, 7 is the first digit in the repeating pattern. What is the 391st digit? So let's count how many digits there are in this pattern. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers here, 6 digits in this repeating pattern. So what we'll do is we'll divide 391 by 6. So let's do that and see if we get any remainders. Okay, so 3 goes into 39 6 times. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract. We're going to have a difference of 3. Bring down the 1. And we're going to multiply this by 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract. And we get a remainder of 1. So what does that remainder of 1 tell us? That means that this pattern is going to repeat itself 65 times. Okay, it's going to repeat itself 65 times. ... And then the following number is going to be a 7, because the first digit here is a 7, right? So it's going to be 7. So that is going to be the 391st number, which is choice D. So if this was a remainder 2, then the next digit would be a 6. If there was no remainder, if it was remainder 0, meaning that the number that they gave us was a multiple of 6, then the answer would have been 0. Okay, it would have just ended with this digit 0. Okay, and that's it, guys, with this video. Again, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. If you know anybody that could benefit from watching these videos, please share these. And I'll see you guys next time, and we'll continue on and finish off the math multiple choice questions.